everyone, it's your girl Maureen Ide, a licensed real estate consultant and an investment advisor. And you know how we do it on this episode with property developers. I'll be having a chat with property developers, asking them questions that you, my investors, have sent to me about your concerns with investing in Nigerian real estate market. Today, we have yet another property developer, and I want him to introduce himself. Let's meet you, sir.
Hi, good day. My name is Mr. Michael Ojogwu. I'm a real estate developer with half a decade experience in real estate. We are into the business of selling peace of mind via real estate and other forms of real estate investments.
Amazing. Thank you, sir, for that. And now, a question that I have in mind. What exactly sets you apart from your competitors?
Okay, one of the things that set us apart is timely delivery. As a real estate developer, I believe in delivering projects on time. And apart from timely delivery, we believe in delivering on promises. So while doing our business, if we tell you, okay, this is what we are going to do in this project, we ensure that we meet up with what we said we are going to do in the project. Though there might be challenges, there might be limitations, but we ensure that at the end of the day, what we say is what we do.
What exactly should investors look out for when investing?
Okay, one of the things I will advise every investor to do before investing is, first of all, conduct your due diligence on the property, then secondly, on the brand. So in terms of your due diligence on the property, you have to find out if the property is free from government acquisition or any encumbrance. So don't just rush based on what you hear or what we developers say, oh, this property is free. Ensure you do your own personal due diligence so that when you're investing, you are investing with peace of mind. You are investing with assurance that, okay, what I'm investing in is right and is okay. Then the next thing is your due diligence on the brand. You need to know the brand you're investing with. Is this brand, does this brand have integrity?
Of course.
Though things might go wrong in the whole process of investing, but integrity is one thing that always speaks for itself. A brand that have integrity, when things go wrong, they'll definitely take responsibility for those challenges. So always look out for integrity of the real estate brand you are investing with.
Amazing. That's another important question which some investors have dropped for me and told me, Maureen, I need you to address this. What due diligence should investors make before any commitments?
Okay, due diligence are in different levels. So I think one of the first due diligence an investor needs to make while buying a property is ownership of the property. Ownership of the property, you have to ensure that the property company you are buying the property from is the right owner of the property. Because there are cases where you have done your due diligence, the property has a CFO, the property has all legal title, but is not in the name of the company. So those cases you are just buying from the wrong seller. So you have to do your due diligence to ensure that this document is in the name of the property company you are buying from. Secondly, you have to make due diligence on if the property is even free. So in terms of if the property is free, you have to check, okay, you take a surveyor to the site, take some points, some coordinates from the site, ensure that these coordinates are, when they are taken and they are charted, they are free from government acquisition. They fall under the title the investor, the property company says that property has. Because there are cases where some part of the property can be and have this kind of title CFO, and some part of the property does not have a CFO. And at the end of the day, you are just buying a regular property as a CFO property. So ensure that you chart to be sure that all part of the property you are buying falls under the title the developer says the property has. Another thing you need to check is the future development of the property. You need to know the development coming to that property, the future plan, what will be happening in that property in the next 2 to 3 years, what will be happening in that environment. So those kind of information, you need a stakeholder in real estate to actually give you that information, because you don't want to buy a property that at the end of the day the property is not appreciating. So you need to do your due diligence on the development plan for that property.
Amazing. I've heard, okay, that some companies, where they are selling an estate, probably the estate has a CFO, some part of the land will have that C of O, and some parts will not have C of O. But they're going to use the part that has C of O to sell the part that does not have C of O. I mean, that's the reason I always insist on take your surveyor to site. So now what's your input about this? Because this is a consign.
Oh, okay. For that, it's a wrong practice. It's fraud. Let me use that word. For investors, you need to. That's where integrity comes in place, because nobody that has integrity will do such practice. So, as a investor that is coming to buy a property, ensure that you chart both the front, the back of that property. Chart the exact plot. If it's possible, ask the developer, okay, where exactly, even though they cannot show you the exact plot, at least they should give you a range where your plot is. Ensure that you take coordinate from that plot to ensure that the title they are selling to you is actually the title for the property you are buying. So ensure that you do detailed due diligence. Due diligence, I see a lot of surveyors that come to site to take coordinate, and they are just taking coordinate from the front of the property. What if just selling the front, only the front of that property has a CFO, the back does not have? So you need to be very detailed to be sure that what you are buying is what you are getting.
Thank you very much for addressing that, please. Okay, so you as the developer, what are some of the challenges that you have faced in the Nigerian real estate industry?
A lot we are facing, and we will still face a lot of challenge. So one of the challenge, the major challenge, one of them is government regulation. We see our regulation changing today. This property is free. Tomorrow, government is acquiring the property. Is a big challenge we developers face. So, the government policy is not stable. When a new government come, policy change. Another government come, policy change. You are having that issue like juggling different government policy. That is one challenge we face. Another challenge is these local vendors. You see an instance where you buy a property from a community. Few months after you buy that property, some people in the community tell you, oh, we are the rightful owner of the property, it's not the other people that we bought from. So you see, you have instances where developers pay twice, 3 times for a particular property, and at the end of the day, the developer is already at loss, because they are already selling this property and they have now to pay again for that property. Aside that, we also have the issue of inflation. The inflation, the interest rate, inflation rate is not stable. Today we are buying cement for S amount, tomorrow we are buying it for S plus Y, next tomorrow we are buying it S plus Y plus Z. Like, the inflation rate is very crazy right now. So there are so much challenges we as developers face in this real estate sector. That is why sometimes you need real estate investors need to also be considerate when dealing with developer, because some of these challenges are beyond our like beyond what we can handle. We are just doing our best to salvage this thing. So sometimes you need to also consider this developer. I'm not saying you should permit lack of delivery, but sometimes if a developer tell you, okay, give me more time, let me solve this, give me more time to deliver on this project, you also need to be considerate, because you don't know the stress, you don't know the challenges they are facing in the back end. Thank you.
Amazing. And truly, as someone that is a stakeholder in the real estate industry, I'm more like a mediator or a middleman. I speak to my investors, I speak to clients, know their needs, and also I speak to developers, know how they're going to deliver this product. I understand that it's a lot that they go through. You see all those estates you see, all those houses, that it's a lot of sacrifices, a lot of pain that they go through. Sometimes they lose. They just want to deliver this project to you, but a lot of things go down back end. Anyways, what are some of the measures that your company is putting in place to ensure that when customers buy properties, they go to sleep and rest? There's no a lot of my property will be missing tomorrow, government will come, something will happen. They don't want to hear all those ones. I invest, I get what I invested in.
So for the issue of government policy, I think one of the things every developer does right now, you need to be connected up, because for you to deliver in Nigeria right now, you need to know somebody that that can assist you when the challenge becomes so much. So that is one. And in the matter of inflation, one of the things developers also have to do now is when developing, just try and do everything immediately instead of waiting months to develop a project. Why not start developing it immediately you acquire the project, so that at least the inflation rate for that period of time will not be that much.
Okay.
So immediate development of properties. Then in the case of those locals who buy property from, you also need to checkmate them. It's not just what they say, more due diligence. So you see, sometimes you spend up to 6 months trying to do our due diligence on the property. So we ensure that, oh, we are buying from the right source. Apart from buying from the right source, we ensure that we have someone that, if anything goes wrong, that person can be able to resolve it amicably.
Clients can buy from your company and they will go to sleep, no issues.
So what I would say is, we are giving client at least 80% assurance that no matter what the challenge is, we'll resolve it.
Good.
So I'm not saying that there won't be challenge, but no matter what the challenge is, we will definitely see to the end and you'll get your property.
Amazing. I love the fact that he said 80%. You know, a lot of company will promise you 101%, 200%. We know that you cannot do that 101% or 100%. Why not promise 80%, so that your client is aware that you're putting in effort to ensure that their properties are safe, or they can just invest and go to sleep. So thank you so much, Mr. Michael, the CEO of Eminence Global Property, for this amazing insight. I mean, I love every bit of this interview, and it's an eye-opener. So my people, you know how we do it now. We have come to the end of today's interview. Do not forget to like, comment, drop in your questions. I would love to address it in my next episode. Comment, share, subscribe to the channel, so that you motivate me to go and meet more developers, address your issues. If you don't subscribe, how will you motivate me now? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support so far. Catch you in my next one. Bye.